disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but it's happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Alaric Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Champlain, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Once again, good morning to my people. Grand uprising, my people. Grand uprising. Again, this is your boy, Mr. Johnson, aka RJ, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at 92 East Drive in Champlain. All right. Grand uprising, my people. For those of you who locked on for the first time, grand uprising. Loving the house to you, sending positive energy your way. And for those of you who might be upset with what I'm about to say, I apologize to you in front. From up front, say good morning again, folks. Good morning. I am a fitness expert, and I put these in quotation, and a self-proclaimed herbalist practitioner. I also put that in quotation, and I make no apologies for telling you self-proclaimed, because I am not one of those people who read and behave by a societal script. I think for myself. I make decisions based on what is being told to me, and then I can deduce from those information if it makes sense to me. I am an individual, and I'm responsible for my life. When they pump a narrative to you, I want you to listen to, because this is my little preamble. When they pump a narrative to you, narrative doesn't have to be truth. A narrative just has to be believed, and then you're done. And if the narrative is believed, you will follow the people or person who pumped that protracted narrative. Okay? Again, I am not telling you to be a radical in the sense of being a radical. Be a radical in the sense of accepting who you are. That indelible and inalienable rights that was given to you by your creator, just understand that that cannot be given to you by any man, nor be taken away from you by any man. It's your inalienable rights to be a human being and be treated as such. And if you're not getting that, you need to do something about it. Understand? So good morning again. I do by way of chronic diseases. I don't proclaim or claim to know or heal the body, as it were. What I'm good at is synergistically putting herbs together, and hence the reason I offer you a free consultation. Let me say this again. A free consultation is yours to be had. Once you call these numbers that I'm going to be giving to you in a moment, you come to me, and we can go through all this. Again, just understand that the best doctor in the room is your own body. Understand that. The best doctor in the room is your own body. If you cannot articulate what you're feeling, you may have some problems. But once you can, which I think 9.9% out of 10 are able to articulate what you're feeling chronically by way of pathologies and the physiologies, sure, a recommendation can be made, and I can do that synergistically with the herbs and allow the body to heal itself the way God and nature intended it to be. Okay, capiche? Say good morning again. My Dallas people, blessed morning to you. Corporal John, good morning. Good morning to everybody. And good morning. Panella, I think yesterday was your Earth Strong, the 30th of September. Good morning, Panella. Hope you're in class this morning. My Earth Strong was on the 29th. And for many of you out there, just understand this brother that, I'm not sure how many of you can see me right now, but, you know, one of my friends always say to me, he says, listen, you got something working for you. Why don't you just talk about it all the time? You must talk about how many calendar you would have ripped up thus far on the face of this planet. Well, I'm going to just tell you guys profoundly, confidently, 6 decades, 0.5. Let that make sense and let that land. And I thank the Creator for such. So 29 was miles strong. And once again, and for those who would have wished me, you know, I thank you so much. It's well received. So blessed morning again to everybody, my Dallas folks. Good morning to you. Blessed morning, grand uprising to you. I'm going to be talking again about the diabetes stuff, and I'm going to also talk about some other things as it pertains to the blood pressure, your glycolic. So I'm kind of going to be all over the place. Let me invite you guys again. Those of you who wish to make a contribution to the show, please call me at 342 or call the studio at 342 0081 3420081 or 466-5391 466-5391. Call in and make a contribution. If not, and you'd rather just rock back and listen to your boy pontificate, by all means, that's your privilege and prerogative, and I would like that as well. Okay, so good morning again. Love yourself, man. Tobago, blessed morning, Trinidad and Tobago, proud citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. And blessed morning to every single living soul within the sound of my ear. Even if you're not hearing me now and for some reason you accidentally ran into the program on YouTube or Facebook, take your good morning and take your blessings as well. All right, we all need each other to be each other. Without each other, we're not each other. And when we get our story right, our life's going to be way better. We're going to be way better. Understand, many of us don't understand what energy means, what frequency means. We just living vicariously because we are ruled and controlled by the people who want to continue to stay in power. All right, blessed morning again. Good morning, Mrs. Spencer. How are you this morning, my dearest? Hope all is well and you continue to shade under the golden branches of the Creator's love and care. Miss Gettins, good morning. Good morning, Miss Gettins. How are you? Good morning to now. Good morning, my sister. Good morning, my siblings, Lynette, Bewitch, everybody. Good morning, Wax Dog. Good morning, and good morning, Wax Dog. I haven't said that in a while, but good morning to everybody. Booba, well, go on, give me a call, man, and let me know how those things that I sent for you is going. Boy, Booba, man. Booba is a legend in his own right. Good morning to you, bro. So, let me just say this before I go forward. Again, I always like to send the greetings out to the people out there. Don't be shifted by people who don't like themselves. So when a person comes at you a lot of times, I like to give these little advice before I go on, because everything intertwined, everything continues to connect. This is the truth. Everything connects. Everything needs everything. That's the way we survive. And our problem is that we try to separate. What you need to separate are the things that's shrinking you. Separate those things and pay attention to details and pattern recognitions. Your life is going to be a whole lot better. All right? And don't let anybody tell you what is best for you. The people who love you, you know who they are. So you listen to them, and then you make your decision from there on. But don't allow anybody to shift you. A lot of times people have their own issue, and they want to deflect, so they come at you. So they project. They deflect and they project. Pay attention to details and pattern recognition. All right? Good. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to our police department. Good morning. We need you guys. Good morning to the Coast Guard. Blessed morning to you. Blessed morning to the fire department. And good morning to the... did I say the regiment? So the police department. Okay. And good morning to our regiment. Even the private security firms, good morning to you brothers out there that doing a good job. Okay? Concentrate. Good morning to you. Be cognizant. Be woke. Pay attention. And stop when somebody is paying attention to the prison bars that we build for ourselves and we speak up against it. Stop polishing those bars. Let that sink in. You know, when the prisoner becomes the prison guard, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Again, let that one land. I'm going to leave that right there because I don't want to go and get into certain stuff here. I make no apologies for who I am and the message I want to disseminate. And there's a sort of cliche that goes like this: don't hate the player, hate the game. That's what you got to do. All right. At the end of the day, I'm doing the best I can, the best I know how. I'm on purpose with my life. Anyone has an issue, like I said, and you want to contribute, feel free to do so. Scrappy, good morning, my brother. Good morning, Officer McPhee. Blessed morning to you, my brother. Hope all is well. And yeah, you stay strong, bro. I always say this, man. And you know, some cliches ties in well. Tough time never lasts. Tough people do. Officer Adams, blessed morning to you, my brother. Blessed morning to you, Officer Adams. Good one, man. Good big old boy. They're right up into the business, man. He's good one. Good morning to you, Officer Adams. Love in the house to you, my brother. Keep standing tall, bro. Keep standing tall. Akil, your son, good morning to you, bro. And love in the house. And also, let me just say again, a hearty welcome to even the guys, the guys on the Port Authority Police. You guys have your job to do. You know, you continue to do the best you can, the best. So good morning to you guys as well. You better recognize. Good morning to you. And I'm recognizing, all right? And the Airport Police, the Airport Authority, good morning to all officers. Good morning to you. I recognize. So, thank you, my brother Kyle. In this life, again, we all need each other to be each other. Without each other, we simply not each other. That this life, we can't go on. We cannot go on if collaboratively we don't love and respect one another. It will never, ever work. And that has been our struggle as human beings for a long, long, long time. And that will always be that way. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me jump right into what I love to do the most. Let me jump into my purpose. And that is to disseminate information to folks who want a better life in terms of your health profile and in terms of getting rid of chronic diseases from our body. Again, we eat ourselves to death. That's exactly what's going on here. We continue to do that, eating ourselves to death. This morning, Michelle kind of gangstered me and telling me I had to change the ad, so it's time to change the ad. Well, I agree. I reluctantly agree. Ladies and gentlemen, I like to start off with the phone calls that I get. And somehow that will kind of branch off into other stuff, especially when I don't have a specific topic in mind. And I come here all the time, most of the time, without a topic in mind until I hit the studio. And then I would just say, Kylos, just put that up for me. This is the topic I want to talk about this morning. I just didn't, and this morning, I didn't have one per se, but I got a phone call as it pertains to high blood pressure and salt. And I want to remind you guys again, I want you to think about this for a bit. Think about this. Give this some thought, okay? Because this is not an indictment against anyone. This is reality. Let us look at reality. There's something called perception and there's something called perspective. Your perception of what something may be could be wrong because you will see something and that's not the truth. And then that gives you a perception. It ain't right. You could be unequivocally incorrect. Perspective, on the other hand, gives you latitude. It opens it up and you're able to now view things from a different angle. So this is not an indictment to anyone. Here's my question to you guys out there. Question number one, which I asked before. Is the absence of disease good health? That is number one. Process that for a bit. And number two, if my salary that I am hoping for, the money that I want in my life, if that particular money is predicated on you always coming to me for a particular reason / pathology. Think about this good. If that is the situation, do you think I will be totally honest with you? No, here what I want you to do. I want you to listen to the man who just gave you that particular scenario to think about. Right? For those who mind strain, you allow your mind to strain because I ain't talking to you. I am talking to people who are going to try to make sense of what I'm saying here and who are going to make an informed decision based on what I'm trying to say here. My salary or the money I'm making is predicated upon you coming back to me without you being cured. Do you think I would be honest with you? Process that for a bit because that's an indictment. It's a reality. And you know why I say that? The very survival of life is wrapped and coded in deception all the time. Whether that is purposefully or not, it is wrapped in deception. We don't like to hear them things because it shifts us. We don't like to hear those things because it sort of make what's going on inside of us uncomfortable. Well, here what happened. until we face the demon inside of us, because all of us have the demon inside of us. All of us are jumping inside of us. Many people wouldn't want to hear that. We are the demon in we. Always talking about Satan, Satan, the Satan in you. Look in you, you see Satan there. Because me, I know what that Satan people is be talking about. But look inside of you. Because the things that we don't like about other people exist in us. Everything that shifts you about someone, somebody annoys you, you don't like how they move, look inside yourself. It's right there staring you right back at your face. And that is the reality we have to deal with a lot of times. So my thing is this: if you believe that this life is not wrapped in code and deception, you lack a dangerous viewpoint of knowledge. Now, I'm not telling you to be a nasty, cold person by purposefully deceiving people. That's not what I'm saying. Here's my question to you. If you have to lie to save your life, if you have to lie to save your life, would you tell the truth? Well, for those of you who say, I will tell the truth, I know where your head is at. Process that for a bit. When the bird wants to feed, when a bird wants to feed, like a stork moving in a swamp and he wants to feed, he creates a scenario, a deceptive scenario, so that the fish underneath could think that there's a meal on the top, and then he plunge at it. There's a particular fish in the sea. It has a thing on the top of his head that waves like a bait, and he waves that, and he's underneath, he's submerged, and he waves that, and as soon as a fish come around to take that bait, blow. I'm not telling you to cross-reference us with the way the animals live. I am trying to explain to you what survival is. Look at it from that standpoint, and you will see why I'm talking like this. Well, herbs and everything ties right into that. And you will, as I finish going down the road this morning, you will decode for your own self what I meant by this. When you're going to someone, get a call? All right. Caller, you're live, go ahead. All right, okay, I think pushing up. Right, when your life moving in a particular dimension, when your life going in a particular way, you will understand. Again, you will decode what I'm trying to say. If your person calling back, good morning, caller, you're live, go ahead.
Morning, brother. How are you? Morning, brother.
Good morning, my brother. I'm fantabulously fantabulous. Hope all is well with you. Nice. Talk to me.
Yeah, likewise. Blessed morning to you and everybody.
Yeah,
I just, well, first thing, my mom used to always say, God rest her soul, if I have to lie to save my life, I will do. Because it depends on your survival.
Absolutely.
So
mm-hmm.
And then after I save myself, because sometimes you have to be selfish, yeah? Because you must be yourself first before you can do something for someone. So you have to be in order, fix your house first. So, and then I will extend that for my children, and you know how the line goes.
Right.
But I just want to add in something for you. That's just the thing. You see, when you talk about the high blood pressure, you always speak about the diabetes.
Yeah.
Diabetes and high blood pressure quickly has been there since in the ancient times.
Right.
What the Egyptians and the Greeks would have done, they would have used herbal, they would have experimented, and they would have looked and seen, and they would have said, take this, take that. The Greeks at one time and the Egyptians used to try to create tablets like what you do, because you will take the herbs and you'll formulate something.
Mm-hmm.
So what they are doing now is probably an updated version.
Mm-hmm.
But what they are saying is that the ancients are saying is all about knowing thyself.
Right.
And understand what you are dealing with. I have been doing that because the next thing now is have an individual when we talk about the sugar blocker. What causes insulin not to the body not to produce? Because something down the line, you always speak of that.
Right.
What is in the factor causing the pancreas not to create the insulin?
Mm-hmm.
You only want to block the sugar. But what happens when the insulin is sick? So we have to, I mean, I am not into that depth like you, but I'm just being realistic. Like the late Dr. Morgan should say. So you have to be logical.
I like that.
In religious and everything. And even the good books talk about the different meats to eat. So meat was in the book was good to eat. But just you have to know which will help the insulin, which will not. The lean meat, the red meat, stay away, and this type of thing. So but I always say, I don't have the empirical evidence like you, but as a listener and as God.
Thank you.
And I will still go on the internet and think. So
Thank you.
I just always say, people, the herbs, you need the herbs, and you just have to know what you're eating check your age, know what is good for you at your age and these types.
Thank you,
And I've learned that over the short time listening to you. Well, I mean, it has saturated in my head more. So lock on, listen, continue your program.
Thank you, man. All right, my brother, you too, man. I thank you so much, and your contribution always embraced and appreciated. You know, and you know, he used a word there that I had to talk about, logic, and that is the truth. Is we prefer emotional shifting than logics, and we prefer those sort of bantering, because if someone caters to your ego and your emotions, all you have to do is what they are bringing to you is to believe it, which has nothing to do with truth. So logic has nothing to do with truth if they can twist your emotions. That's why politicians win elections all the time. That's why preachers make big money in church. That's the way it works. Yeah, now caller? Caller, you're live. Good morning. All right, okay. Right, so Beverly, thank you, my dear. Beverly, thank you so much for that belated wish. I appreciate it very much. And continue to look as lovely as you want to be. Have yourself a beautiful day, Beverly. Okay? Right. So there was talk, and I'm going to bring up that point again. Listen, if you reduce carbohydrates and sugar, you ain't getting no diabetes. You're not getting any metabolic diseases. Let us get that straight one time. Leave processed carbohydrates alone. Refined carbohydrates and sugars, like excessive sugar I'm talking about excessive crazy glucose, those refined stuff. You leave those alone, you ain't getting no metabolic diseases. And once you're not metabolically ill, the body recalibrates consistent, and you're in a good place. You're in a very good place. So my boy asking me, so no, the call come in, and actually it was a lady, that wasn't my boy, he asked me about the blood sugar. So she says, so Mr. Johnson, why they always tell us to stay away from salt and blood pressure? And I've been on blood pressure for the past 5 to 7 years, and whatever. And I went until she finished, and I said, so do you eat salt or not? No, well, I don't eat salt. That's what they said. They said not to eat salt. Okay, good. So why are you still on blood pressure medication, sweetheart? Well, I don't know. That's what they say. Why are you still on blood pressure medication, sweetheart? And then she probably paused for a little bit, which she did. And I said, my dear, salt has nothing to do with your high blood pressure. And let me give you something that reminds you something that I talk about all the time. If you are in a position where your blood pressure hit rocket high, you don't even know yourself, you're out to lunch, they are afraid, and the only thing that they can do is call the ambulance. When they come in, I call your life. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Blessed morning, my brother. Blessed morning.
Good morning, Mr. Johnson. Let me humbly apologize and wish you happy belated birthday. I am so embarrassed. I was thrown back this morning when you said something, and I called your beautiful niece and I told her we are in trouble. But we will make up for that. Definitely. You said something there this morning that have me even a little more awake. Mm-hmm. When you talk about if it means between me telling the truth and a lie, to save my life. It doesn't even have a maybe a question there. Without a doubt, I am going to lie my head off. But what I take from that, what I deduce from that, is there is a saying in the the scriptures. Let me not say the Bible, the scriptures.
Right.
Are you still hearing me here? That it is possible for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter heaven. Yeah. And that kind of what I take away from that is, if I know or someone know telling the truth I'm not gonna make any money. I'm gonna be poor. I'm gonna be a poor physician, a poor businessman. Would they? You think that is what I take away from that. Love, tone, and listening, my brother.
I got you. Much love in the house. You know, this is Carlos. Let me see. You know what? This is. You always hear me talk about my brother, and this is my second to last brother, and that man gave me strength all the time. I lived outside for almost half my life. North America. I lived in North America, Canada, and the United States. And my brother believed in me so much. He always used to tell my parents, because nobody knew when I hopped out. He's the only one who knew when I left, right? And he keep telling them, I don't know what you're worrying about my brother for. I don't know what you're worrying about Alloy for. You take him and throw him in the shark-infested water, he become the shark. He's going to survive. And that particular belief gave me strength all through my life. You know what I mean? But he always been like that, and he would rag me up. When I go wrong, if he don't like it, he rag me up. He don't play with that, you know? And I love him to death. I mean, I love all my siblings, but I tell you, he don't play that story. The point I'm trying to make is he come and he didn't care if the world think that he did not remember his brother's birthday. He just want to let that happen because he really like that all the time. And the truth be told, I was telling someone up to no wax and say, you know, but watch, when he find out, he going to kick up. He would have lost his mind. But I purposely did not remind him. I don't remind anybody of my age strong. I just don't do that. You know, you remember today's my birthday. You know, I don't tell nobody that. If you discover that, you discover. If you remember, you remember. It's just another beautiful day to me. So I didn't tell him, and I know exactly what he did because he did not come on the radio. He could have waited until I come off the air and call me and tell me that. But he's always real like that, and he doesn't mind being like that. That's why I love my brother so much, bro. As I said, I love all my siblings, but I truly, my second to last brother, I'm a dog. I'm a dog. Right, so, Butch, you don't get jealous, you know. You always real quiet in your corner, Butch. Mr. Dad's a boy, love in the house, man. But love to everybody. All right, so, if you pop like your blood pressure, and the only thing you could do is to call the ambulance. Don't think I forget what I was saying. The moment they come, I talked about this before, the moment they come, and this is what I was telling the lady. The moment they come, without looking at your medical history, without looking at anything, what they do is hook you up on a bag of saline. Well, ladies and gentlemen, saline, a bag of saline is 9,000 milligrams of salt. Process that for a little bit. If it meets to the point where they think you're in what I should say, anaphylactic shock or that type of catatonic stage where you just truly, they think you may kick out, you get in 2. So that is 18,000 milligrams of salt. Process that for a bit. So here's the question now. Where did that come from? That stuff with the salt. Well, that sodium, what they don't tell us is that 83% of the sodium that affect the kidney in that particular adverse manner comes from ultra processed foods and other stupid foods that we eat that is loaded with those sodium stuff that create problem. And there's something called arterial peripheral diseases inside of the kidney where the kidney pumps don't work no more. The kidney, the nephrons, that's why when your kidney get damaged, it's called nephropathy. The nephrons inside of the kidney. Hey, Scrappy, good morning, my brother. You just came to my mind. Good morning, my cuz. Good morning, Scrappy. The nephrons inside of the kidney, those pumps don't work. So the arterial peripheral disease clog those things up. Now, the kidney knows this, so it goes into this phase where the body automatically want to pump it. It's like you using a plunger in a toilet, and it pumps the kidney. When that happens, right? Listen good what I'm saying to you now. When that happens, the kidney releases a chemical or a secretion called renin. Renin goes through the blood. Now it has to deal with the liver. You know what the liver is? The liver is the unsung hero. The liver is the champion. The liver does everything. Now the liver got to clean that up, right? When that liver start cleaning that, if that get inside your bloodstream, which in most cases it will, it's called angiotensin 2. That's shooting your blood pressure straight through the roof. No, you could take what you want, that ain't coming down. You hear what I say? No medication and bringing that down. What you have to do is relax the endothelium inside of the blood vessel, and it takes a particular skill in order to do that. I want you guys to process what I'm saying here. You know. This is the reason why many people are on different type of blood pressure medication. I am not telling people out there these things aren't necessary. That's not my argument, and that's not my debate. I am not telling you it's not necessary. What I am saying to you is that if that particular precipitation is by something else, those particular drugs not going to work. It's not going to work because it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Now, here what happened. There's something called homocysteine in our body. Homocysteine is an amino acid. Every single human being has homocysteine in their body. I want you to understand that. That is something called lanolinic. It's omega-6. But it can become very inflammatory based on the type of foods we eat. When that becomes inflammatory, it irritates the endothelium inside of the blood vessel. It irritates it. The blood doesn't want to be irritated. The endothelium don't want to be damaged. It don't want to be pitted. So what happened? The blood vessel clamps. When that clamp down, pressure goes up again. Well, you could take what you want. It ain't coming down. Because if you understand the mechanism of action from blood pressure medication is to release pressure from off the veins. So you pee. It's a diuretic. But that's not the reason. The reason is not because it's pressure on the blood vessel. No, that's not the reason. The blood vessel literally clamp. They're protecting themselves. Ain't nothing going through them. So they ain't nothing to relax. It's staying there until that particular inflammatory chemical called homocysteine recedes. Homocysteine has to be at the Goldilocks level. And then you'll have proper blood pressure. So you don't have blood pressure because they put zombie on you or because you have a circulatory system. No, you have it because you don't do the things that is required to maintain proper blood pressure. Things like magnesium glycinate, bisglycinate, same difference, and other things that work synergistically with that. It's just little things that we need to do on a daily basis to add up to our health rather than just walking vicariously through this life and we don't care what we do until it get bad. Some of us can't even afford to have another pathology in us because we already not good. We ain't proper. Let me just say good morning to my darling niece. She's so beautiful. Cheyenne, good morning to you, darling. Uncle love you. See, she sent a nice message for me. Your daddy called you. You don't worry yourself, darling. Your uncle love you to death, and you know that too. Take care, sweetie. Good morning, Seema. Good morning, beautiful Seema and Rennie. Blessed morning to y'all. Love in the house, always and always. Blessed love and blessed love flow, always. Good morning, my Dandada. Good morning to you, bro. Love in the house. All right. Let me just see something. If my other. All right, cool. I think we're good for now. Right. So this amino acid that I talked about that is inflammatory, like I said before, you could take what you want, it ain't going nowhere. All right? And synergistically, these are the things you need to do to maintain proper blood flow. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Johnson don't profess to know everything. As a matter of fact, if you take into consideration how the world is, how we make up, the knowledge that is required for, or how the human body built up, our biochemistry, basically, we really don't know nothing. Let us be real. You only know what I always say, those who know not and knows not that they knows not. You know what happened, they ain't proper. And sometimes we think we know. Sometimes we believe we know that we know, and we don't know that we don't know. That we didn't know that we didn't know. And because of those engineered ignorance, we find ourselves in a whole bunch of trouble. But when you look up of how the human body is made by this creative energy and omnipotent power, you put it into context, we don't know nothing. Because we wouldn't be sick. The United States government spend, I think it's about $3 trillion a year on healthcare. And the United States is the worst healthcare system on the face of the earth. I say that without apologies. And we follow that mantra consistently. We follow that mantra because we're eating all the nasty foods. We eating all the foods, some of the foods that I reject. Or you know that some of these, the cornflakes, Fruit Loops and all them things. Do you know Canada has a different type that goes to them and a different type that come to us? Because the Canadian ain't playing that with although it's processed, them ain't playing that. And they send in a different type to us down here, and we wrap it up every day. Every day. Giving poor kids cornflakes to go to school. Bring some cornflakes and make they go to school, and when they start behaving crazy and belligerent, they start blaming the kids. We need to look into what we are doing. We look into what we are doing. We have to look at what we are doing. We have to look at precipitations. We have to look at the reason why things are going on and happening the way which is happening. We need to pay attention, and we're not doing that. Because again, we're too busy knocking down one another. You hear what I said earlier on? When the prisoner becomes the prison guard, you're in trouble. You're in dire trouble. There are things on the face of this earth, and there are things in our society that we don't like. We resent it. Completely resent it, because it affects us. And when somebody speak up against it, you look at the person and say, well, what you are playing? You're this, that, who he think he is, and who is this and that. You're polishing the very bar that has all of us locked down. You continue to polish it. Meanwhile, the person who's speaking up trying to get a hacksaw to free us all. But that's, you see, these are the things that we're not paying attention to. So when the prisoner becomes the prison guard, it's a dangerous thing and a very dangerous place to be. We need to be a little more woke, ladies and gentlemen. Need to be a little more work. Again, one more, I got this text messages about how sometimes I'm so forceful and what I am and whatever. And listen, I always revisit how I behave. Sometimes I ask myself, you know, but like, what's wrong with you, boy? And I would revisit that. And that makes me a better person. I revisit it all the time. You know, I remember I told my brother this, and I always talk about this. One time I tripped off. I was in this area and I totally lost it. And this youth, this guy is no more than 140 pounds. Look, that youth comes straight up to me, man. Look me straight in the eyes and he says, oh, what kind of drugs you on, boy? I'm going to use the word he fit that in. But that made me recoil for a bit, because I had to look into myself. For him to be, he was so brazen. It just reminds me of what I need to continue to do. Always revisit yourself, because none of us are infallible. None of us. I'll leave that right here for now. But what I'm saying here with this salt thing, you all need to wrap up the idea of using salt. You all need to wrap it and embrace it, because it's part of our biochemistry. Salt is a part of our biochemistry. Without salt, the hydrochloric acid in your stomach will continue to remain weak. It will be weak, and you will forever have acid reflux until it kills you. And many of us in this society have that issue. I am telling you, me for sure, because I started experiencing these things at a very young age, where I realized I had a very sensitive stomach, very sensitive stomach growing up. And I knew that it came from when I ate certain things. Now, whether that was the absence of salt or just how my biochemistry made up, I'm not sure. But I don't eat without salt. Period. Anybody who knows me know that. Even if I do my own, which I do cook most of my food. Most of the time I cook. I very seldom buy food on the outside. Very, very rare. And I still add salt to my food. Baja Gold sea salt, Celtic sea salt, or Himalayan pale salt. It has to be sea salt. Salt can't be wrong. It cannot be wrong. It's wrong when you don't use it. Your biochemistry needs that particular salt. It has to have it. So, ladies and gentlemen, all I'm saying is that if we do not use the salt to vasodilate, to create that vasodilation in our body, we will find ourselves in dire trouble. And you cannot digest any food. And again, for those of you who stay off the salt and also on the because they call me a madman. Some people call me a madman because I said cholesterol medication is something that people shouldn't be using. Yeah, right? I stand by that. I stand by that. If you look at, read carefully what cholesterol does for the human body, right? And all the tests that they would have done is by association, which is truly nonsense. You doing a test based on association? Hold on here, boy. Hold on. So where's the evidence? For your biochemistry? Really? And when I said that, I mean this, that a lot of people, even the gallbladder is removed for people. You still have these people on cholesterol medication that has the gallbladder removed. How are they digesting bile acid? These are people who are going to be sick every single day. Every single day they're going to be ill to their stomach. And then they will go back and get another stuff to help that pathology that causing that illness in the stomach. Worse and worse and worse. Ain't never going to get better. Me ain't knocking nobody. I'm just telling you guys, pay attention to how you feel. Because you don't have to argue with me. Argue with the feeling that you're having. Argue with that all day long. And maybe some sort of sense or some sort of semblance, cross reference to what you're supposed to do may hit you and you may do the right thing. I don't know. I'm not here to convince nobody because that's not my thing. I am here to convey. And I'm going to do that the best way I can, the best way I know how. Like I tell you this morning, ladies and gentlemen, make up your mind for me to be all over the place because I'm all over the place this morning. All right, so that's the deal. Raheem, good morning. Good morning, my brother. You see you on that talk? You see you on that popcorn talk? You trying to sell me out because I ate some popcorn. That's what you trying to do. You know I do my popcorn home by myself and use my own oil. You're trying to sell me out. Go ahead. Good morning, Raheem. Hope all is well. So here's the deal. Again, ladies and gentlemen, let us go back a little bit because I want to just finish off this here, right here. Let's go back again and talk about the angiotensin 2 that caused the blood pressure to go up, right? We have all these pipes, little pipes called our capillaries in our body, that if you join them together, they are about 64,000 miles long. That's around the planet. If you join all your blood vessels together, end to end, it goes around the world 1.5 times. If one of those pipes are messed up or clogged, we're in trouble. And this is where a lot of times most of our issue come from. And that is why sometimes hear what they will tell you. Either you have you inherit this because daddy and mommy always had blood pressure, or there's something called etiologic or idiopathic hypertensive, which means it's of non-known origin. And that, my friend, becomes a problem, because if you don't know where the origin of something come from, they're just trying to tell you, listen, well, we can't do nothing about it, and this is what's going to be, this is the situation. You will have to live on medication for the rest of your life. The other thing that doesn't make any sense is that somebody go to the doctor, they do their test, they do what you call a GFR to check out their creatine level, the kidney and whatever. GFR is glomerular filtration, GFR, glomerular filtration rate. Yes, just how to get it synchronizing. Your glomerular filtration rate is how well the kidney filters the poison and how well it's working, the nephrons in the pump working. Just another way again, how well that working. So they do that, and then they look at it and they may tell you, well, based on 1 to 5, based on the kidney and the position, the number in which it has to be that they consider healthy, not so healthy, and down the road. And then you're saying to folks, because this is a good bit of the clients that come to me, you're saying to folks, and listen, please don't get me wrong, because I'm not knocking my nurses and doctors. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just talking about the reality of what keep happening here. Why we just constantly sick and feel like there's no end in sight. And you're saying to them, your kidney is not functioning well. It's not good. Based on the number here, your kidney may be, let's say it's 10. Let me put it this way to you so that most people out there understand what I'm saying. Let's say the kidney level, let's say 5 is optimum. Let's say 5 is at its best. 4 will be a little bit from the best, 3 will be a little bit from that best, and so forth. So let's say the kidney's at number 2. You're telling it, listen, your kidney's at number 2, but you see these medication, you have to stay on them for the rest of your life. So again, let me say this again. Hold on, yeah, boy. Hold on. What processes these drugs? What processes these medication? The kidney. But you just tell me my kidney not good. Why do I have to stay on this for the rest of my life? It makes no sense, and I have a problem with that. Process what I said first. If my salary is predicated upon ... you figure that out on your own, because I'm not going to go back over that again. But there is a word that has been used all the time in the fraternity. You kill where you eat, or you eat where you kill. Again, process that. I love my nurses and doctors, and I love my surgeons. Without them, we can't be no way. I just giving you guys reality to think about. And think about when your grandma is home and she's sick and she's not getting better. Why there's the reason for that. And there's 8 and 7 different medication. In some cases it's 10. And where we going with that kind of story. And how we think we're going to get better. All I'm trying to do is bring this awareness to you guys, ladies and gentlemen. That is all I'm trying to do here. Right? Again, Mr. Johnson ain't professed to know everything. Because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Right? And Mr. Johnson professed to heal nothing neither. That's what it comes down to. No, Mr. Johnson ain't doing that. At the end of the day, I just bring information to you. Yeah. Caller, you live. Bless morning.
Good morning.
Bless morning.
Is this Professor Johnson? Alloy?
This is Mr. Johnson.
Very sound to the front, okay. I'd just like to tell you belated happy Earth Strong Day. And I know we don't have to say it because you look like you have an Earth Strong Day every day.
Thank you.
But I'd like to thank you for the information
Pleasure
that you gave us.
Mm-hmm.
And you are saying you're all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish that you could be my personal physician. Because your wealth of knowledge is, it's real.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.
And what you're saying, if we take all what you're saying into condition and and use it, I think you have a healthier nation.
Much appreciated.
And I like what you said about the salt.
About the? Oh, salt. The salt. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
That is good.
Yes.
I hope you enjoy your day.
Thank you so very much, and you too. Miss Cynthia. Sure, it's Miss
Okay,
Cynthia.
thank you.
That's a voice. Take care, my dear.
Thank you.
Have a lovely one. All right. Yeah, I think that's my good little lady from Atlanta. I appreciate that very much. Yes, I appreciate that very much. Yes, so blessed morning again, Akil, my brother. Officer Adam's son. Good morning to you again. So, yeah, do me a thing. Slide in my ID for me before I get off here.
Are you dealing with high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, prostate issues, cancer, PCOS, fibroids, or low testosterone? These conditions do not just show up overnight. They are signs that your body is out of balance. At the healthiest corner on earth, my focus is restoring that balance naturally using time-tested herbs, personalized wellness plans, and nutritional guidance, helping your body return to homeostasis, the state where healing begins. When your body is is in balance, it can protect, repair, and renew itself. You don't have to wait until things get worse. You can take control of your health now. My goal is simple: to prevent chronic disease and support your body's natural ability to heal. Book your free consultation today. Give me a call at 736-3962 or 709-8450. Let's restore balance and prevent what's preventable, because your healing journey starts with one step, and I am here to walk it with you.
Thank you, Carlos Way. Thank you, Carlos. Loving the house, man. Loving the house as always. So, loving the house. So that's the deal. I want to talk to a few people out there with this. A lot of times people have, and I remember a gentleman come to me and he was giving me his story with that you have such low blood pressure that if you get up too fast, too soon, you can be knocked out and staggering all over the place. And he was doing some work home, and that happened to him, and he almost died. You know, he urinated on himself and all that kind of stuff. It was just that bad. That particular, and I know a lot of people out there can relate to it. That, yeah, you're having this particular issue, and you're not sure where the fight is taking place, but you try to get up sometime too quick, and it knocks you out. You're all over the place. You could fall and hurt yourself. It can even create more of a detrimental or deleterious effect on you than you can even think. That particular, let me find the word for you. That particular pathology is called posterior osteostatic tachycardia. Let me repeat it again for you, and I will talk about it next week. It's called posterior osteostatic tachycardia. It means the output on heart is extremely low. It's extremely low. And this is one of the things I want to talk to you guys about too, because the muscle that makes up the heart is called the cardiac muscle. If you can recall, a lot of times you'll hear your doctors will saying, well, he or she's in cardiac arrest, I hope they come out. What they're saying, that they just simply means that hope they come out from this heart issue, because it will directly relate to your heart. So that muscle is called the cardiac muscle. If it's not as pliable as it want to be, you can be in trouble. All right, so I'm going to talk about posterior osteostatic tachycardia. Next week, we will go on that, and because I know rare people suffering with that. I know that for a fact. Carlos, talk to you about it. How much time I have there, bro? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Johnson number is 736-3962. 736-3962. You would have heard it from the ad there. 709-8450. Free consultation await you. Anything that is chronic in the human body can be reversed. Anything. If you are not born with a particular pathology, you did not inherit it. Okay? As I said before, they have mutating genes: MTHFR, MCRR, COMT, catechol methyltransferase, MTHFR, methylene tetrahydrofolate reductase. We have all them things. Come by Mr. Johnson. I will guide you down that road. Again, I know what to do so that the body go to war for you. I am here to walk that road with you. Once again, this is your boy, Mr. Johnson, aka RJ. Until next week, Megan.
Follow The Street 919 FM on all social platforms at The Street 919 FM.
The absence of oxygen is absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but is happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Aloy Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Chamfleur, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Calling all choir. This is TNT's first